So we've got FHA, talked about that. VA's kind of a different beast.
It's 100% financing.
But you can put 20% down on VA. Because there's some advantages if you're a veteran to use a VA loan.
20% down on an FHA
Well, that's
loan.
true too, but it's more common with a VA loan.
You can put money down on the USDA. They can have 10% and we can put it on there. I do that all the time.
Do?
USDA does, I didn't tell you, they have a conventional guideline. If they qualify for a conventional loan, we can't do the USDA loan. So you got to be careful.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
So that's where it leans back. If they qualify for 20% down conventional loan, you can't use a USDA loan.
On there.
And on USDA, if they own another property or have ownership of another property, you can't use a USDA loan. On the VA, there's a funding fee. There's a first-time home buyer funding fee of 2.3, and then it goes to 3.3 on multiple uses, because people get confused if you can use it twice, which you can. You can actually have two VAs at the same time. That's when you need to talk to your loan officer and figure out what's going on, or your loan officer and figure out if they can do it or not. But also, if they're disabled, they're 10% or more disabled, they may not have the funding fee. So, and you can put money down on it if you want to. That's not a big deal. The one thing that's nice about all the government loans, and I didn't get to talk about, at least the FHA and USDA, is I've gotten people approved with 55% DTI. And being honest, that we know that there's another borrower that's not on the loan.
Right.
You know, we're not going to stick this person out there. We know there's more money here to work with for them to make it.
It's just not on paper.
It's just not on paper. And we push the envelope quite a bit of times on an FHA, because a lot of times the FHA buyer, we only have one buyer.
Right.
But we push the envelope, feeling very confident we're going to get that to go through. Same way with the VA. You know, I've gotten some gnarly VAs approved, way up there. But they do have a program where if we can't have the spouse on there, we can use their income to reduce their residual income. But that's a whole nother category to get into.
And what's the deal? So on VA requires a termite inspection too, right?
So your governments are going to require water. All three of them require water tests.
For wells?
For wells.
If it's city water, they don't, right?
They don't.
Yep.
On a community, we do on a community well with FHA, we have to go and verify it is a registered community well and that they have tests. But there's a website we go to and verify.
Right, and if it's a shared well, that's something to watch. You can't have more than 4 people on a shared well. So if it's not a community well, but a shared well agreement, if it's got more than 4 houses on one shared house, it will not go USDA, right?
That's right.
And then on VA, isn't there something with VA on who pays for the termite inspection?
The seller technically is supposed to pay for the termite inspection on the VA, but most generally on a lot of them we have seller concessions, so it's not really.
It's not a big deal, right?
Usually ends up working.
But I've ran into where that's problems. The buyer can't pay for their termite inspection, right?
Has to be put on the seller.
Has to be on the seller side. Also on the VA, our flat fee commission. You cannot charge a flat fee commission on the VA loan.
Yeah.
So that's one on that too.
Thing.
Yep, that's our thing. This is for us here, you know. This isn't about you.
Right?
You know, I know I know my dad thinks everything's always about him, but you know, really it's more about us.
I have enough to worry about as it is than your guys' stuff, but I know there's a lot about your guys' stuff.
So, you know, another thing, I mean, I think it's communication. You know, you guys aren't going to know all this information. It's going to take time for you to learn the different nuances, but you need to be able to talk around these loan programs and have a basic understanding of what you're dealing with, so that you don't get a property under contract that can't go that loan type. And if you got questions, talk to me, talk to the loan officer.
To be able to communicate to your loan officer, have an understanding what they're saying. I mean, a lot of this we went through, you know, I'd tell you to listen to it twice. I know it's an hour and 20 minutes long. This is really good information to help you build a foundation to make you smarter when you talk to people, or make you understand.
Well, it's all about trust, right?
Right.
So when you're talking to a client or a prospective client, you have to provide them value and they have to trust that you're a professional. If you can't talk to them about basic loan types and loan programs and how much it's going to cost to get them in the house, you are not the trusted professional. Now, I always tell them, you know, I'm no lawyer, I'm no loan officer, but this is the basics around what you need to know. And I use this conversation, what we have here, on a little, you know, obviously a smaller level, but when I'm talking to people the first time, I tell them the difference between a conventional and FHA, USDA, VA loan. I give them an idea of, you know, probably rough seller concessions and down payments, because there's no reason, if they don't have money to work with, or they can't get it, or if we can't get them in USDA, there's no reason for me to get them to dad. Now, I will say he does a great job helping people know what they need to do to get their credit better. So we work with a lot of buyers, maybe not successful, but we are with some of, they come back to us and we help them out. So if it's somebody who's just like, our goal as Westgate Realty is to help people in home ownership. And that is the people that can't afford a house and will down the line, or people that can. But I spend an awful lot of time educating people that, unfortunately, probably half of them will never get their financials, probably more than half will never get their finances right to buy a house. But if I can take 20% of those people that couldn't buy a house without the two of us, we're doing an awful good help of getting somebody in a house they can afford and building wealth.
Well, a lot of what we all do is the loan officers and real estate realtors is very similar. We want to build a pipeline.
Yeah.
If you don't have your pipeline filled, you're
in trouble.
You're in trouble big time. And if you're not promoting yourself and the confidence that you're going to take care of people, you're not going to get a lot of people. Because if they don't trust your integrity, they don't trust your honesty, you're not going to build your business. It just isn't going to work. No. If you're just after the money. When I first got in the business, everyone told me, oh, I'm going to make a ton of money and everything. And I was getting burned out trying to make a ton of money.
It doesn't help. It's not worth it. It's exhausting.
And I did go out and put resumes out there, and I didn't like that either. Because I was making more money than that. But I changed my attitude to helping everybody I could. Helping my real estate agents understand what they're going through, helping my buyers. And when you turn it around a little bit and you really focus on helping people, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
Because you build your pipeline.
Well, and they'll refer you.
You build your customer base and you build this pipeline and you have a steady amount of business coming in, and you enjoy the business a lot more than fighting. And
it's pretty cool when you get that person a house who thought they could never get a house and they break down crying because they're so happy at the closing table.
It is good.
It's a cool thing. And
it is amazing.
And obviously everybody likes the big dollars, right? You like the big commissions, but I gotta tell you, sometimes those are a lot more exhausting than just helping somebody out.
And the first time home buyer is so happy.
Yeah.
And the thing about a lot of times your first time home buyer is a smaller loan size, and you think, oh, I'm doing all this work. But man, you are building a relationship there that's gonna buy the next house.
Well, and
it's gonna be a big house, because if they listen to me and they get both clients.
And you get both sides then.
You get both sides.
Because you sell one, you buy another one.
That's right. You're selling this person that has this $175,000 house, and now they're buying a $300,000 house, and you just got two transactions.
Yep. And then what's cool about that, if you're a realtor for a long time, now in 2 or 3 more houses they sell with you, then they have kids that start buying houses too.
Do.
So there's actually...
That's when you've been around 23 years.
There's actually more earning potential with a first-time home buyer than a high-end client, because you're catching them earlier in the transaction, and there's more transactions down the line.
A lot of your higher end clients are shoppers, or just picking one they like. And they're trying that final transaction. That's going to be, a lot of times that's their forever home.
Yeah,
but they're still going to share the
until they get to empty nesters. They're going to sit in that home 15, 20 years, where a first-time home buyer, I bet the average is 3 years nowadays, if not less. With this market and as much appreciation they've gotten the last couple of years, they're moving faster, it seems like. But yeah.